Hello and welcome to Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I am your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. There is no God. And we've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
When you come to terms with that, there's little a man can't do.
And we've got Cameron Mickle on the pod.
Just because he's blind doesn't mean he's a saint, bro.
Yes. And we've got Grant Mickle on the pod.
What the fudge? I'm so uncomfortable.
Grant's breathing. He's doing the opposite of what's recommended. Guys, we're reviewing Don't Breathe. This movie came out in 2016.
Can we talk about Boyfriend of the Year award, Ty?
Yes.
That's my B.
my B in
That's
there.
my B. You know I'm thinking about
care
her.
about her.
Don't think I care about her.
From the way that you talk about her, I would assume not.
You think she's your girlfriend just because you...
Do you guys recognize this fellow? Anyway, no, I'll get into the actors in a second.
The 13 Reasons Why kid? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I actually think of him as the guy from It Follows.
Or
but we're gonna review
Goosebumps.
that later. Yeah, he's in It Follows, Jordan. Daniel Zavato's character.
Get him followed.
Money. He's the boyfriend that takes the demon from the protagonist.
Huh?
The one gets murdered by his mother. Anyway, whatever.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Daniel Zavato. Look it up. Money
Right.
is in the movie It Follows, dude.
I don't want to
I'm not
argue
kidding.
about this right now. That's great.
He's in Prisoners?
Yeah, he's the son.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying he literally is. Like, I factually already looked it up. Anyway, because I thought he looked familiar, and I just watched It Follows today. So anyway, whatever.
I thought he was
So,
Percy
guys-
Jackson kid, but then I was like, no, that's not him.
Well, yeah, no, that kid is in Goosebumps. Yes, I'm talking about Money, the gangster guy.
I know.
Oh,
goes
the
out.
gangster kid.
Yeah, gangster kid
Oh,
is in
the
It
one with
Follows.
dreadlocks. I thought you were talking about the main, like, good kid.
Yeah, Dylan
No,
Minnette.
not the
No,
good
the
kid.
kid that's in
Oh, I was like,
Prisoners.
Dylan
Yes,
Minnette, no.
not
He's in
in that.
Goosebumps. He's in
Yeah,
he's
thank
also
you.
in he's in Prisoners. He's the son, Hugh Jackman's son.
I need you to man
guys,
up for me. Hey, Hugh, chill.
Not you.
You don't think I can spell it
It's
off you?
me to find her.
When his son just goes off on him.
Guys, and we're like talking about the saddest part where he's like yelling at Detective Loki. This movie was directed by Fede? I don't know how to pronounce it. Fede Alvarez? Fede? F-E-D-E. How do you say that? Fede Alvarez. Yeah, maybe it's French. Fede Alvarez.
He's definitely
That would be
from...
Italian, but close.
He's definitely not from America. Like, I've listened to him talk. He has a heavy accent. And he's the one who did Evil Dead. And we're talking about the director,
Jordan,
right?
you just think that, just think because he has a heavy accent, he can't be from America?
Well, no. Anyways, so I
speak English.
think he's... we'll get into him in a minute. So.
Where?
I'm giving you a hard time, dude.
Going on.
Let me try. Going on. And it was written by Fede Alvarez and Rodo Sayagas.
Fede.
Wow, those are hard to say. Guys, it stars Stephen
Fettuccine.
Lang, the blind man. Oh my gosh. Jane Levy, who's Rocky. Dylan Minnette as Alex. And Daniel Zavato, who's Money.
The second
And-
most bad A blind person behind, what's her name?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I can't tell if this movie sets blind people back 50 years or it advances them up to my favorite disabilities in movies ever.
What's it called?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of
Wait until dark.
I know, this is like the reverse Wait Until Dark.
Gwyneth Paltrow, or not Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, it's the reverse Wait Until Dark. Exactly. Oh my gosh, guys. The blind one is the one you fear most. I love it. Someone watched Wait Until Dark and was like, oh, I want to make the blind guy the murderer. It's like, what? Who thought this would be a good idea? Who's going to be afraid of a blind man? I will say those hallway scenes are the most intense things I've seen all
He
year.
fitting appears out of
By far.
nowhere. He's a
Just
golem,
walking
bro.
down the hall, just backing into a hallway. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk about it. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
My
dude.
favorite scene
Just
was when he
coming
was
at you,
sniffing
dude.
those shoes. Oh yeah. Got a good old whiff of both.
There's a lot of weird body stuff in this, and I just want to say, guys, with Thanksgiving being tomorrow, I can't think of a better Thanksgiving movie that features a turkey baster in this film, and it's a prominent role. And if you guys have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So
Horrifying.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody! Don't let that ruin your stuffing.
I was debating saying, "How does that taste?" As my quote.
Yes. Oh gosh. Just spews out, dude. Like, I mean, it's a whole. Oh my goodness. There's a fetching hair in it, dude. That's all I'm saying. There's a
they had to
fetching
show
pubic
that.
hair
I
in
was like,
there.
that's
Oh,
disgusting.
How to mention that, dude? And he's walking with it, it's dripping. I never forced myself on a woman before. This is the most scene I've in a movie I've ever seen. Okay, jeez. Oh my goodness, guys. Let's get into this movie. What was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? I'll start. Jordan brought this movie over to my house and he's like, Ty, you got to watch this movie. It's a small
And your
indie
friends
horror
were
movie.
over.
We had friends over. Yeah, so I had Garrett, Sarah,
Last
my
time we
wife,
ever saw them.
Jordan. Yep. We're not on good terms. Lost a lot of friends that way. So we watched this movie and like Jordan's like, yeah, it's great. Like there's no in this one. It's great. Like
Technically, no.
I don't know how else to say this, guys. Yeah, this man forces a woman to bear his child, but he doesn't force himself upon her. By that, he means he's gonna turkey baste her, and then What?
She took his kid, like.
Is Jordan trying to justify
Justify?
what the actual F is happening right now?
I kind of wish the ending was her just, the little ladybug. My roommate said this, the ladybug flying away, and, she gets captured. And I think they should have done a flash forward how long is it, 9 months after you have a baby? I think they should have done flash forward. She was walking out of the house after 9 months after having her child.
Oh my gosh,
That'd have been great.
sicko. Bet you
wait,
like that.
wait. You wanted the movie to end with her bearing the child?
No, I do a flash forward 9 months and then her walking out of the building and house. That would have been great.
Why would that have been a good ending?
Because she would have
given
birth.
birth.
Given him his child that he deserved.
So,
He deserved. Oh my gosh, you're a
Jordan thinks that the
sicko.
protagonist is the blind man, and he's like, this poor blind man got stolen blind with the
Clearly,
child.
some other people do because the second movie is about like you're kind of rooting for him to kill all the other
I haven't
people.
seen the sequel, so don't spoil it. But I am interested to see it now.
Brother, I've got so
Crazy?
many thoughts about that. No, it's frustrating because it's just like the opening scene. I can't even talk about it. It's just frustrating.
More turkey basters. Anyway, many more. So, guys, I love saying the word turkey baster.
No, Ty. Literally, the movie makes no sense. It just.
This movie doesn't make sense. How does a blind man capture a woman and
Find her car.
get her back into his house? I don't understand.
Military, Ty.
Military.
Also,
I know,
no,
but he's a
I didn't-
blind
I
man. Did
didn't
he go
understand how she
find her
tracked down-
address? Like, how do you know where
tracked
she
down
lives?
her
He's blind man.
car. Like when he just like appears out of fetching Narnia.
Well, I think it was the dog barking.
Well, he hears his
so
dog barking,
follows
dude.
that.
Still,
Yeah, he follows the sound of his dog barking.
they were far, and they had to climb a fence and shiz.
Well, she circled around, didn't she? Anyway, no, see, we're going to get into nitpicks. I want to know what was it like watching this for the first time and rewatching it for the pod. I loved rewatching it because I forgot a lot of this movie, and I was like, oh, yes, when the camera was panning around the house with a hammer on the wall, shows the skylight, I was like, oh, yes, I remember all these things are coming back to me. I loved it because they were planting all the seeds. They're like, these are all callbacks, mind you. And it was show, don't tell, just like, hey, look, there's a hammer on the wall. You're like, I wonder if that'll come back into play. But it was exciting because you're like, a horror movie, it's like, it's like teasing you. It's like, is this going to be exciting? It's just like this weapon is going to be used on somebody later in the film. Stay tuned. I just loved it. So that was really
It's like
exciting.
a museum tour. Use this to brutally murder this.
Jordan, how about you? Watching it for the first time, rewatching it for the podcast. Where did you find this movie?
I saw it in the theaters because when I heard Sam Raimi's name attached to it, I was like, oh, I love Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi was a producer.
It was a bit deceiving at first when I saw that. I'm like, oh, he's directing it. And then I found out that he produced it, which is still okay. He produces good stuff. But the guy who directs it, he is good at creating a good atmosphere. I feel like he struggles a bit with character development. Like, you're not really rooting for anybody. Everybody's kind of...
Hey, I'm rooting for the ladybug. I'm rooting for Rocky, and the dog.
I was
Yeah, the
rooting.
dog.
I was rooting for the kid from
Dog is a
Prisoners
hero.
until the moment he fetching came back. I'm like, the moment he came back, you deserve to die.
Ultimately, this movie, a plot recap, this movie is about a guard dog, that protects its owner's home. And it's just a wonderful, heart-telling moment where the dog literally
You
gives
see
his
Turner
life
and
to
Hooch?
protect-
Yeah, it's same thing.
Dude, I got serious Green Room vibes. Did you guys think of Green Room when you watched this movie again? After having seen Green Room, because I watched Don't Breathe, then I watched Green Room, and then I come back and watch this one later. I'm like, major Green Room
Because
vibes.
they create an atmosphere and this, like, I love the colors and it just feels like very... tonally
feels
good.
like you can't
'Cause-
escape.
Yeah, it's that trapped feeling. that
yeah, like I
Raimi
said, the
has.
director is
And
very
the
good
dog's
at.
in green room and the dog
Yeah,
in
you
this.
finally get out, and then there's just still
Yes,
more.
and I just
Yeah, you're thinking of all the things that I was thinking about.
I feel like whoever he's teamed up with for the sound mixing is really well done too, because he creates such a fun, creepy atmosphere. But the second one, I couldn't even see anything. I turned off all the lights, and I still was like squinting, trying to see stuff. So I think they did this movie really well, and like at least I could see what was going on.
Even the pitch black scenes of just having their eyes fetching wide af open.
Yeah,
And just,
that was great.
that was creepy as shiz.
Yeah, so
And
I
was a
liked how
clever
they
way to
gave
do
you
it,
that
yeah.
sense of blindness a few times because there's scenes where the lights go out and you're just like, wait, the blind guy can see perfectly well, or like, I mean, ironic. No, he can't see perfectly well. He can perfectly not see at all.
Nothing's
But
changed.
he's accustomed to nothing's changed for him, and you're like, oh my gosh, like those moments
And
kind of
they're in-
register with me
and-
because I'm like,
And they're in a new home,
disturbing.
and that's his home that he's been living in forever.
Yes.
Yes.
He knows
So
which
it's
one's
just
like-
and it's the same with Wait Until Dark when she breaks all the lights. Like it's such a great way to end. You know, it's like, oh, welcome to my world, kind of thing.
yeah, it's brilliant. Cameron, how about you watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
Yeah, so like the first time Jordan tried to show me this, we got like,
Did you say yeah, onion?
so like the first
You said yeah.
the first time Jordan tried to show this to me, I think I was 17. No, 16. Maybe I was 15
Yeah.
because Grant was at
That
Grant was
sounds
still
like a
at
good
home.
age.
I think, yeah, Grant was still home, so I was 15. And Jordan was like, oh, we should watch this.
So Cameron watched this one and he's like, so that's what dating is. I've never forced myself on a woman.
And so we got like 15 minutes in, and then Jordan could kind of tell I was like a little uneasy, and he's like, "We can watch something else if you want." And I'm like, "Yeah, that might be better." And then
Still finished it.
no, well, that,
And then we watched Wolf of Wall Street, and you're like, yeah, this is better.
Oh my
on
god.
Good Angel probably, but
I'm not dying fetching sober.
but yeah. So then watching it for like the full first time today for the pod was insane. I was stressing so bad. I had to pause it frequently and like play my little video game just so I wouldn't just be losing my mind because I was like, I was so just uncomfortable. I hated. There was just so many times just like. It's the moment he came back, I was like, no, I hate this movie so much. I hate this movie so much. The fact that it's just so. See, yeah, that's why I would say like it's like a perfect. It's kind of like The Wait Until Dark. It's like it's just a perfect like intense thriller. You take out one or two scenes, and this is the perfect group movie.
Cameron, Grant, how about you, man? What was it like watching it for the first time, rewatching it for the pod?
I don't remember exactly when I watched this the first time, but I remember enjoying it a lot. And I like even rewatching it, I'd forgotten most of the stuff, and so like kind of piecing everything back together. I was surprised at some parts because I was like, I thought that happened earlier or later, but it's still
Yeah, it's a great
being,
rewatch.
Yeah, it was still a really enjoyable rewatch, which was fun.
Yeah, this movie is a tight, 90 minutes, It's
really quick.
I wouldn't take out much. I wouldn't add much in. I think they did a good job,
Yeah, it never slows down. I love that.
establishing the players. There's none of that long. The only scene I would argue is just watching her meet her dumb family. But you needed the heart because at the end it's like, why is she motivated to do this? Yeah, she has a younger sister she's going to take away from her horrible family life. I like that. Let's say our two favorite things. Grant, why don't you start us off?
Limiting to 2 is hard.
2.
I know. Chillax.
Grant's like turkey basters and
and climbing gear, or whatever the fudge that was.
I think
the home swing, little home swing,
Indoor swings.
indoor swings.
Indoor swings and pillow forts.
Grant's like, that looked like a really fun basement.
Yeah. Oh no, wait, you guys like
have
have
a pillow
mine too
fort
at
with
my family.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh.
I think my number one favorite thing is the camera work in this movie because like the tight shots of like when they're like circling around a person, they go very tight to one side and then you're like, oh my gosh, what's on the other side? You know, and then like he'll like appear right behind them. Or they do a lot of like of teasing stuff in the beginning because you're like, oh my gosh, is there going to be something? And then there's nothing there. And then just like, but then later it just comes out of nowhere and like he'll just be standing like in the hallway or something. You're like, oh my gosh. So I think the jump scares land really well because of the camera work.
He has the aura of Satan.
For real, dude. Because like even like the slow motion camera kill of money like really worked for that moment because it was just that shock of like, oh my gosh, like he actually killed him. So I just think the camera work was really well done.
I know he kind of killed the kid a little too early. I was like, oh, I kind of wanted him like seeing the girl in the basement and losing his shiz and like freaking out because
Yeah.
Props to everybody when they see him and like them covering their mouths. If I saw him just like I turned a flashlight on him and he's just standing there in the corner in the dark, I would scream and be booking
especially
it.
when he gets shot, she like immediately covers up her mouth, and I'm like, this is the smartest girl in a horror movie I've ever seen. I would be like, holy fudge!
Well, I almost wonder if it's like shock initially, and then because she's already crying, and
she's so smart because he said it's just me. And then
I don't know if he believed him, and then he stumbles over several pairs of shoes. We're like,
and just gives them a good old whiff.
See, that's what I like about this movie. It does really good at like it's a terrifying piece of like the sounds, the sights that you're seeing. Like I love that he's using his other senses. They do a really good job at that. Like where he's like smelling the shoes and he's like, these are all different people's shoes, you know. Obviously he would recognize multiple pairs in his house, but he's smelling all the different odors from the feet. It's so gross. It's a very Sam Raimi-esque thing. Like he loves that. Watch Drag Me to Hell and you'll know what I'm talking about. Embalming fluid just pouring out of a cadaver. So anyway, love it. Very Evil Dead-esque. So
Well, it's funny you say Evil Dead because this director actually made the remake.
Yeah, the remake of the Evil Dead. Yep, he did. So, Cameron, how about you? Two of your favorite things.
You definitely did too.
Oh, I didn't.
Wait, you didn't do two things, Grant? I'm sorry, did I cut you
I'll
off?
count my second one as the jump scares. They're really good.
Yeah, I thought you said jump scares and then
the
you were
camera
talking
work.
about the camera work. Yeah. Are you done talking yet?
Yes.
Grant's like, I still have seven
Why
more.
don't you just take this coloring book and sit in the corner, Grant?
My favorite was kind of similar to Grant's, was just like the unexpectedness of each of like scenario, because I think they did a really good job of bait and switches, because usually with kind of like more intense thrillers, it's like kind of more predictable. You're like, oh, he's gonna be around that like corner. Like if like when they're with the girl, I'm like, oh dude, you better fetch and hurry up, otherwise he's gonna catch up and he's gonna grab and like keep one of the people behind. And he fetch and open the door and he's just chilling there. I was like, what the fuck? And which that's kind of one of my nitpicks. Homie moves like such a Sonic the Hedgehog. He is so fast for fetching a blind man. But my second favorite thing, honestly, was just I loved, kind of like you guys mentioned, I just loved the use of like his other senses, and I loved how it was so like good at like show don't tell, of just like it would show you something, like for example him like feeling the second pair of shoes after he was feeling that first pair of shoes, and he just see his hand like bump into the other one, and like it instantly clicks for him. Just like when he's like, oh hey man, I just stumbled in here, I was drunk, and then he like steps on the lock and he's like on and he's like just like feels it, and what he's feeling, and you're like, oh shiz, he knows you're not just stumbling here drunk, bro. He knows you but you broken that shiz. And so it's like little things like that do such a good job of setting up things. And I knew as soon as she fetching had that look after she saw him put in the code, I'm like, nope, that greedy whore is gonna want the money. I'm like, I know she's gonna fetch and go for it. I was like, the most
When he's like, we should call the police, and she's like, no, we won't get to keep the money. I was like,
I'm like,
are you
gonna
just
keep
watch
your
your friend
life?
get his face shot to pieces?
Yeah, see
Hey, remember how much she has to lose, right? It's her daughter. She's got to get her sister rather. They got to get out of that crappy
I don't
situation.
give a fudge. I'd rather get back to my crappy situation than fetch and be somebody's literal like holy man.
Mind you, they didn't know how bad it was
I
at
don't
that
give
point.
a fudge.
They
Just no hesitation blew this dude's brains to the moon. So yeah, I was not taking my chances with him.
That's hilarious. Jordan, how about you? Two of your favorite things from this movie.
Oh, geez, man, this movie's crazy. So many moments when it just like, you'll essentially see what they're seeing, pan back, and you know he's sitting up in the bed, and you're like, "Oh shoot!"
Oh my gosh, yeah, sitting up in the bed. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yes.
Because he pokes the hole in the little thing, and it's like letting out like that gas that's gonna knock him out, maybe even kill him. I don't know. And then
It's like, either he's got some kind of tolerance from war or something, maybe from
or he heard it or smelled it and then instantly like held his breath or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a reaction. Woke
He
up.
could have just gone under the covers too. Maybe
I don't know what
if he smelled it, he could have like covered himself up in the like the bed sheets to maybe like avoid like passing out. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. It looked like Ty was about to say something, but he just.
I don't remember. Like,
Oh.
Yeah,
Because you keep
when
looking
I
back.
said bed sheets, you looked at me like that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
no, it's just like, does that help? Like if your house is on fire, can you still get smoke inhalation if you're under the covers, right?
I don't know. People
maybe
say
not.
put like a wet blanket over you. Like that's one of the things they actually tell you to do.
I thought it was so you don't catch fire.
Well, yeah, but also I think you're supposed to put it around your mouth. Too.
Yeah, you're
like,
supposed to
Okay,
put
real
around.
quick, a little tangent. I have to say an adorable moment for my daughter. So she was like, like, hey, you can stop.
She started a house fire.
No, she's like, so she has a stop, drop, and roll. And it's like what you're supposed to do, if there's a fire and you're on fire. And she was like, what's this one? She's like, it's stop. It's like, and this one? It's like, drop. And it's like, and roll. She remembered roll. And I'm like, and she's like, these are the fun things you can do. And I'm like, if you're on fire. Just really sweet moment for my daughter. These are the fun things you can do. I'm like, yep. It's a good time.
I love the team that this director works with. Very cute story time. And I love that.
Kids.
Like I said, the atmosphere, and the director works with a great team, because if you watch any of his other films, they all have this similar tone, and I just think they're very both visually fun and also, if you like horror films, I just think the only thing he needs to team up with somebody or get some notes from the Coen brothers to write maybe characters that you actually are interested and care about.
Yeah, they did try a little too hard in the beginning to make me care about the girl, and
I
cared about her sister.
You should care because she has a sister and she likes her sister.
I care about her sister. I don't give a fudge about her. The only kid who was sort of redeemable was the kid from Prisoners. And
was he though? Is he though?
I don't know. I just felt bad for him.
Well, why? Why do you feel bad for him? He uses his father's work to sneak into people's homes and rob them. Boo! I say boo. Dylan Minnette is a nasty person.
Well, he did it for love, so Cameron's like, I relate to that.
No, I just felt bad. I just his life must be so sad. The fact that he's willing to literally just go up and move across the country for some girl who he's not even dating or romantic with. It's just a friend.
I think he's just playing to his. He's like, yeah, man, I'll do whatever it takes, man.
Well,
hey, man, that's my being there. You don't think I give a fudge? Of course, I give a fudge.
I just love this,
gosh.
and I've already mentioned the sound mixing. So when I said his team, I just like how they create essentially a really good thriller environment. This is a great thriller.
So you talking about jump scares, dude? The one where the girl comes out of nowhere, that scared the shiz out of me. I was like,
oh my
who
gosh,
the F is that?
Yes, it turns into Ring for a second. You're just like,
I was
a dark
what zombie
woman comes lunging out of the corner. Yeah,
dude,
horrifying. Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I'm with the kid. They should have
oh,
left immediately as soon as they saw that. I don't give a fudge, bro. I'm out of there, and you call the cops.
I know, because
and the girl was. She's like, yeah, listen to the girl. I'm like, no, we get out of here. We call the cops. And then they come in and barge down. It's like, I'm not taking my chances with, let me break you out of here. F that. I just saw homie die. And I just see this girl strapped up like a fetching pet. I'm like, no thanks. I'm getting the fudge out of here.
I love it. I like what you guys have all said. There was great. I like how they set up the space that you're in.
Yes.
They do a really good job at creating the good layout for the house that's believable. And yet, I would argue one of my actual nitpicks was the basement, just how big it was. It's like a maze. He has shelves and shelves and rows of shelves, and he has a whole corner dedicated to this girl.
Wrestle,
I mean, it's possible.
He has a pillow fort.
Yeah, pillow fort for his girl. For his girl, the I don't know what to call her. The plant for his child. Yeah,
it was the girl. No, it was the girl that killed his daughter. So I mean,
I know, but okay. Again, that's another nitpick we'll get into in a second. So
it's a similar relationship that Jabba the Hutt has with Leia.
Yeah, they do a really good job at showing showing all of the different places and locations in the house that are going to come back. Great callbacks. And then my second one was I like the performance. I think that Stephen Lang did such a good job at being a terrifying blind man. Normally, on paper, you're like, okay, we got to find someone that's really menacing, and he pulls it off. I mean, hands down, this is the scariest performance. The only thing I remember him is from the laughable performance in Avatar, where he's everything that crawls, squawks, and leaves farts in the mud wants to kill you and eat you for lunch and tear your eyes out for jujubes. It's hilarious. It's laughable. He's a cartoonish sergeant. And this movie, he's deadpan, terrifying.
Yeah,
you think that he has a soul when he's crying and mourning the loss of whatever prisoner was kept in his basement. Then you find out he's only mourning the loss of his second child that he forced upon this woman. It's so messed up.
And the one thing too,
holy cow.
The one thing that I thought was really good. At first, it was a nitpick. 'Cause I didn't I wish he would have kind of toyed with them more verbally. Been I know you're down there, but then I realized he doesn't want to give them any advantage. They have no idea where he is and where he's coming from, so he just stays silent and
just fires the gun when he hears them call out for each other in the dark.
Such an insane,
so terrifying.
No,
I know, it's
scene,
Alex, boom. He's don't say each other's names.
Yeah,
don't
the scene where he just he like stops moving and then he's like puts his head down and is just trying to listen. That reminded me of I Am Legend when he walks into that room of all the zombies just sitting in the
Huddling and
middle.
just fetching.
Yeah, it totally reminded me of that.
I love it. I love it.
No.
So yeah, I like that performance. So you guys have any nitpicks or things you wanted to shout out?
I got some. So like, first off,
Yeah.
it should have the boy for coming back, bro. I don't give a fudge how cute that girl is.
He heard the gunshots and he probably thought that the guy was murdered. That's what I'm assuming. He shot a dead blind guy.
He walked in
or he shot.
and then he saw money on the ground and he's like, oh no, like this is gone. Like, and I think he wanted to get out, but then the guy started walking down the hallway. And so he had to hide, and then he started boarding up the window.
Started trapping him in the house. That was so great. Like, he's like nailing up the windows. You're like, ready to go, this plywood. This guy was ready for this, dude. He's like, you're not getting out without me hearing you. It's so scary, dude. You're like, that's when you get the sense. You're like, oh my gosh, this guy was like ready for this. And again, in the type of neighborhood that they lived in Detroit, I mean, it makes sense. There's no one living at houses for miles and miles, dude. He is
All those gunshots
open
went
season.
off, no police called.
No one heard. No one heard. The cops even show up pretty quick after the alarm goes off too. So I'm like, he must have had a good alarm system, because most of the alarm systems that I know, they just go off, and I guess that someone's supposed to hear it and then call 911. But it was actually linked up to the police. Like, they get the alarm to sound off, and the police are there. And I'm like, dang, those Detroit police officers, man, they're on the scene.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So, and then another nitpick I had was they should have just immediately dipped once they saw that girl strapped up. Get the fudge out of there. Don't waste any time. Also, I wish they would have used a little bit more of the sound manipulation, where they should have thrown more items around the room.
Yeah,
Because
or
they
like
were so
tried to find a TV or turn it on. Or
Yeah,
something
because they were so
to distract
stupid.
the
They were
guy.
like, "Oh, let me just chill here," and then yell us your name loud as frick. What? Or just start throwing stuff and pushing stuff over to like at least like try to create the illusion, and then the girl just fetching like walking straight towards him. Goodness gracious. If he didn't say anything, she would have just bumped right into him and said, hello. Like, what? Blowing her brains out.
Yeah.
And then I did think that they did kind of have a sometimes superhuman strength when she fell face first when that dog was coming for her on her neck. I'm
Through
like,
the vent. Through,
I'm
two
not
stories
sure-
down to the basement.
I'm not sure you're walking after that.
That was like Pandorum, if you guys remember, when he falls in the vent. It's like, I'm upside down.
Pandorum. Is that the one with the zombies in space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who could forget such a great movie? I don't remember Event. I remember Dennis
He's
Quaid.
crawling in
that's
a
it.
vent, and then he's upside down, and he falls.
I remember Dennis Quaid. That's it.
Yeah, and that's the
And
thing
the
too.
blind-
Is
the
like
bald-
I
the
like that
blonde
blind
dude.
man. He was Sonic the Hedgehog. He was flying around like the scene where the kid's on the glass when he's just fetching. Like when the kid's trying to like slide off the glass, and then homie's just like on the third building, just like shoots the glass. I'm like, what the fudge? Oh,
I loved it. Yeah, he had some pretty insane accuracy for a blind guy, for sure. But it wasn't always accurate. I like that he would like graze people sometimes. Like he'd just fire in their general direction. I love that when he's fishing in the dark, just shooting in the dark. That's great. I love that. Yeah,
I also
Oh,
wish
go
they
ahead.
just would have done without the turkey scene. I know it kind of like sets the tone of him being a psychopath, but I'm like could have just done with him trying to kill them. But
Because Cameron was imagining himself in that little swing.
I was not imagining myself.
He's like, you have such a girlish features. You're a woman, right?
get me the F out of here.
He's like, how you like the taste? Guys, I gotta see, like I said,
Also-
and then I had this joke. I don't know if this is gonna land. It says, when blind people see this film, they love to see their representation.
Nice one, Ty. No, okay. Another pet.
Minus one.
Another nit.
No? Did
another,
that not work?
Another nitpick I had was the girl being fetching, turning around, saying, "You're no use out here." Run, you don't. Turn around, trash talking the guy who almost just fetching made you his baby slave, and then you're gonna turn around and say, "You're no use out here." Like
You're no use,
booking it
yeah.
so
Yeah.
far, so fast. I go, fuck.
Yeah, he literally just shot her friend. Like, why would you do anything to turn around and look back?
And provoke him. She's like, "Aha, got you." And I'm like,
And then the dog starts running out of the
Oh,
house. Like, oh
gosh,
my
dude.
gosh. We're just like, oh, no. That was a vicious dog, mind you. That dog was a hero. So there was a few moments, right? Like, I love the shots that are always being fired. Like, they do graze some of the characters, right? But there is the scene where they're headed for the door and he fetching shoots him right through the head or whatever. Like, I was like, that pretty impressive shot. I guess he knew where the front door was, but again, it's one thing to like walk over to it, and then it's one thing to like point directly at. I guess I don't know. It's pretty impressive, but.
Yeah, because it's hard
just,
enough shooting somebody like with eyes.
Being completely
with eyes. Well, he did have eyes, Jordan.
No, he reminded me of like Daredevil. I was just like,
my final nitpick. Thank you for reminding me of the Daredevil thing at the very end with the alarm going off. He's like disoriented. He's like, I was like, oh my gosh, like come on, dude. Like the alarm's loud and you can't hear where she is, but it's like he's like, oh, the sound's deafening. He's like turning into Venom, or Carnage. Like, help me. I'm just saying, he doesn't get incapacitated. Like,
yeah, definitely, it was just harder. And also, there was a couple moments where they waited a little too long. Like, for example, when he turns off the washer and then he like waits. I'm like, what the fudge are you waiting for? An invitation? End his life.
Wait, what?
Remember when the kid is in the washroom with him, and the washroom room's like the machine's going or whatever, and he has like the gun.
He stabs him with the garden shears. That made me think of Disturbia. But what are you saying?
yeah.
No,
movie kind of reminds me of Disturbia in a way.
that scene.
yeah, that scene. But before that, when like it's when he's like the guy's super disoriented because he can't tell where the kid is, and the kid has the crowbar, and then he's like about to swing it, but then the machine stops, and he's just like he stops. I'm like, oh, like he's not gonna know you're fetching right behind him, you retard.
That's right.
Just
I do
fetching
remember,
swing. Like he was like trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna be stealth. And I'm like, you swing that crowbar as hard as you can.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if he doesn't hear it coming or if you're in mid swing, it's like he may hear it coming, but he's still gonna.
It doesn't matter about
connect.
stealth. Yeah, he's not. It's not. He's like, who hit me with that crowbar? Help me swinging right back.
Oh,
at
I
you.
didn't see where it came from.
Yeah, like
it's like, oh, I
stealth
know
is
exactly
out
where
of the
it came
question
from. It's
right
still
now.
connecting crowbar.
He's
It
hitting
would've
the
been,
back of your knee with a shovel. Stealth is gone.
Yeah, it would have been better if like the sound stopped, and because it did, he heard the crowbar coming and then caught it. Yeah.
Caught it.
Yeah, something like that instead of just stopping, being like, "Oh, I can't move the sound. He'll hear me."
Oh, guys,
I
I
hope he
love the
hears you when
hand-to-hand
you hit him with
combat.
that crowbar.
There's a terrifying scene where he's just wrestling with him and choking him out. It freaks me out, dude. It's so
Yeah, because you're like,
For
that
the
kid has no
gun.
chance. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oh
he
yeah,
doesn't
see
have a
that was so
chance.
smart of him. See, that's a believable thing, like to just push over the crate. Just be like, hopefully the gravity in this fetching like 200-pound thing will at least disorient him enough to let it go of my neck.
Yeah, he gets a hold of him like twice. He reaches through the freaking shelf. That was terrifying. And then in the washroom where they're struggling and fighting for his life, and
Yeah, Cameron,
he stabs the other
twist,
cadaver. Did
thinking
that
he
get
got
you?
stabbed, did it get you?
Yeah,
I thought he got stabbed.
Okay, well, see,
I honestly thought he died there again. I was like, wait, I thought he lived longer. I literally thought that the second time.
I never thought he died, and that was about to be my nitpick because I'm like, there's no way the kid survived garden shears to the gut, and I knew he was gonna come back to save her. I'm like, this is about to be unbelievable as shiz. And then I'm like, oh, he did get stabbed.
Stabbed
That's
the
more
other body.
believable. Yeah,
Yeah. Stabs the freaking.
he enjoyed that a little too much.
So terrifying. So terrifying.
Another thing I really liked was the camera work of like warping the images so everything like stretched away from you, and it's just that like idea of like it seems so close, but like it just keeps getting further and further away, and so it's like harder and harder for them to escape.
Yeah,
I thought
and
that
so
was
much
really good.
claustrophobicness.
Yeah.
You're just like, I want to get out of this house, please.
Yeah, there's like, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll repeat it. The shots down the hallway where he's coming down the hallway, you can't escape. So they just retreat into a room, like they're tripping over themselves going backwards. He's in the bathroom and he just like sinks down below the sink. It's so good. Like it establishes
That's
so much
also
fear.
another one of my pet peeves is why they fetch when he's like looking at them why are they backing away when he is like 3 inches from them? I'm like, that's the moment you stay as still as fetching possible and you go and you hold it.
Floorboards freaking creak.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't, and I was thinking, I'm like, you can't risk not looking back. It's like, what if you trip over a couch and you're just like, this is a comfy couch, and he goes, and it blows you to kingdom come. That's why I'm like, I'm not risking that. So they were just like, okay, yeah, it's whatever.
You're spitting everywhere, dude.
And you're like, oh my gosh, my pants are dirty.
Oh, yeah, I would say, in the end, do you guys have any other nitpicks, I guess?
I'm just saying I would have done better in this house. And I definitely, if I got out, I definitely would have turned around and said, you're useless out here. I'd have been booking that as fast as I could, taking zero chances, not looking back for a second.
I'm just
It's
glad
great.
that we have a movie like this that tells facts that rich girls don't go to jail.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, I'm not sure which society you're in, but
And can we mention real quick, at the very end when she's in Florida with her daughter or her younger sister, I keep calling her
California.
daughter, and they look on the TV and it's like a local man had a home invasion and he thankfully survived, and he's just like, he's like looking at the camera,
and he
with his
reported
blind
nothing
eyes and the
stolen.
oxygen mask.
I'm like,
He's just
I'm like, that homie's gonna kill somebody really quick. And also,
so
see, but that's the thing. That's the reason I had the pet peeve with that line of like, rich girls, like don't go to jail in this world. It's like he took the money, so like he didn't go to court. So like clearly he let them buy him out when he was like, they never go to jail, they don't get justice. It's like, well, you avoided the possibility of justice by taking that cash.
Amen, dude. See, I know there's nothing redeemable about our blind character here,
Or any of
okay?
the characters. They're all
Or any of the
kind of bad
characters, yeah.
people.
Which is why I love this movie, because it's justified. Like, it's like a bunch of people that deserve each other. It's so delicious. This movie's so good, dude. And speaking of delicious, I can't wait to eat my Thanksgiving turkey after it's, the baster's put in some extra gravy. Just squeeze it in there. Can't wait to...
Okay, also that was my biggest pet peeve. They should have double tapped him so hard. Oh my gosh. They leave it up to one handcuff. I'm hitting that dude in the head with a crowbar 50 times until I see such an ooze coming out of his brain.
he like detached the whole thing so easily.
Yeah, and they're
that's
like,
pretty
oh,
crazy.
he'll be fine. Like, he'll stay down there.
Well, again, he would have been like, you're going to leave me here to starve. But instead, it's like, oh, he's not even complaining. He's like, he won't tell him. And then they like slowly leave. I would have been like, nope. I would have pretended to walk up the stairs and then stay there and watch him and see what he does next. I literally would have. Because then if I see him like reaching for the thing, I'm like, oh, get free. and then hit him on the head again or something. And then like, nice try.
Oh, yeah, just
I
get
waited down
silent and
here.
stand in the corner. See what he does.
Although he probably would have waited to hear sounds of footsteps going up the stairs. But
We'll
I'm
just have one
saying-
person do it.
Well, then he would have been like, I heard one person walk up the stairs, but here too, and he'll just wait there. He'll just fucking wait there until you leave finally, and then I would have sprinted out of the
They
house.
also should have
like, oh my
fetching. They
gosh.
should have locked that door times 10 and put a fetching just couch and everything in front of that ish.
Start nailing it shut.
Yeah, just fetching drilling that ish.
Well, like, and if they were gonna leave him there just to starve to death and die, like,
why not kill him?
yeah, why not? Because you're literally gonna kill him if you
Well,
think he's
their
trapped.
Plan, I honestly think their plan. I don't know if they would have. Done
Call
this,
the
but-
cops or something.
Yeah, it
and
was
have him...
get out of the house, call the cops,
Oh.
because then they would be able to get the money. Because their problem was they wanted to call the cops, but they knew that if they were still in the house, they would take the money with them.
My
I'm
only
sorry, but
one
for a
small
couple
nitpick-
$100,000, you're willing to fetch and risk that ish. If it was millions, okay, maybe I see that, but it's like $100,000.
No. They thought it was 300,000, but then they were pulling it out of the safe, and they're like, "This is way
like,
more."
"That's
There's
way
more.
more."
He's like,
So there
"This
might
is
have been
half
like
a
$1 million.
million,
probably
yeah.
like $1.5 million."
Still not worth it.
$1.5 million. It's probably $500,000 or something. But no, either way,
Whatever it
like
was.
I really like the idea. Well, okay,
Not worth it.
one last nitpick though I will throw out is like when they were trapped in that one room, the girl crawls through a grate that's big enough for her
And
to
the
crawl
dog.
through. And the dog climbs up on the shelf. That worked for me just because the dog used the shelf to climb up there. And it's like crawling in the vent. It's just like, I love that. But the scene like where the dog lunges at the other boy, he goes flying out the window. I was like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and
I
there was
guess,
bars
but-
like on it.
Yeah,
yeah.
and
There were
also,
like bars,
did,
and he
did the dog
flies
did the
through
dog
the
do
window.
like a Cruella where he does like the backflip after he does like the drop kick? Like
yeah,
he
hits
doesn't
him,
go
he goes
all
flying
with
out,
him.
and he doesn't go out either.
Yeah, the dog did a backflip right after he drop kicked
It was
the kid.
exciting though, and it was a good way of establishing like the new scene where he's using the skylight. I like that, and then falling through it was exciting. But again, it was just like I had to just suspend my disbelief a little bit there as well. But in the end, like I said, it was really exciting. It was fun. Good way to get out of a tightly closed room where he gets knocked out of the window. He's like knocked unconscious. The other girl's climbing in the crawl space. It was just exciting, but.
Should have
Yeah, it's
closed
kinda
that
like-
grate behind you, homie.
You wrote yourself into a little bit of a corner there, yeah. Because again, they tried to escape earlier and they see bars on all the windows. It's all boarded up and barred up. But I guess he's willing to jump through it full force because he's pushed by a dog. You get what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I have such PTSD, especially after my mission of dogs. Just every single scene with the dogs, I'm just like, I hate the dog. Like,
That dog.
I hate dogs.
but it's funny because I want a dog so bad, but just like, like poorly trained dogs or just wild dogs. Ugh.
Poorly trained. Love it. There is no God. It's so funny. His voice, he's so creepy. He's so hollow. His voice is like empty and devoid of life.
Yeah,
Such a
dude,
terror.
he's like
So
a
anyway,
kitchen
last
robot.
nitpick. How does he get the actual lady that hit and run his daughter or his granddaughter, whatever? I think it was his daughter. And then
How did she go missing
forces-
without no one knowing?
Yeah, and not immediately look at the guy and like if anyone came by his house and went to the basement and saw her chained up there, she made a noise when someone came to visit. There's just so many questions I have. Like
no, type pillows. Yeah, like that's not gonna.
Heroes.
I'm saying like
Yeah,
just
he
a sound
cushioned it.
suppression.
Yeah,
I'm
he
like
made it.
still.
Yeah,
You get a
sound
good.
suppression.
It's like
Soundproofed
someone's
it,
like, oh, what's downstairs?
Well, no, she had
she
a
had
face thing on. Yeah, she had
mouth
a
brace.
face thing on. How did she feed herself? I guess he IV'd her or something. I don't know. I have so many questions.
Things I do not want to know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, those are the scenes I don't want to see. Is he
Cameron's like, the more I
caretaking
think
her?
about it, I don't like this.
Yeah, dude, it's messed up. Anyway, yeah, like, how did he get her ever to, like, did she come over to his house to apologize? No. He obviously went out and kidnapped her. And at the very beginning of the movie, he's, like, dragging her by the head in the middle of the street back to the house. That was the same girl. It wasn't the first girl, right? The first kidnapped girl? It was rewind
It's
time,
it's
right?
when
So you see it
she
twice.
goes to the car and he comes and grabs her. Then it shows
Grabs
it again
her.
of him dragging her.
It shows her again. Okay, I wanted to make sure because I was like, I should go back and watch the opening scene. I was like, was that the different girl, the first enslaved girl, or was that the same girl and they just went back and reshowed that scene?
That was a crazy scene though. The opening with that, just like it's like zoomed out and you think
Yeah.
it's just a setting, and then like it zooms in.
Yeah.
It's
Just a
dude
guy dragging a girl by the head. Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, like.
So that was.
Please, tell me more, yeah.
That was the first girl. Oh, so that was.
That was
Yes,
the
it
main
was.
the
It was
protagonist?
no. It was Rocky. It was Rocky.
Oh, okay.
Who? It was.
is?
It showed that scene, and then it goes earlier. The whole movie plays out, and then the scene at the end, he's carrying her back to the house, and you're like, oh my gosh! After all that, you're right back to where you started. You know. But yeah, I did initially when I first watched it, I was like, oh, is this our?
I totally forgot
protagonist,
about
or
that. I
is this
totally forgot that
yeah.
scene existed.
Yeah. It's at the very beginning. It's just like dragging her in the street. And it's a great visual too, where you're just like, just willy-nilly. And you're almost like, how could you get away with it? And then you realize the setting they're in and like, yeah, there is no one for miles.
Yeah, why is
So-
no one living there? It's just because how ghetto it is?
Detroit, yeah. Look how ghetto it is. All the houses are
There's
boarded
ghost
up.
towns in different places.
Oh, in Detroit especially. No offense, Detroit. We love you. No, we do not.
It looked like a lot. There was like fires on some of the houses or something. So it looked maybe the fire burned down a bunch of places except his, or maybe he rebuilt it. I don't know.
With all that settlement money.
That was the one thing too I didn't understand. Is like, why did he give a crap about the money if he just like was just sitting in his safe? But I mean, I guess maybe he was just using it little by little to just sustain himself.
He had to keep his daughter's incubator alive and fed. The incubator, dude, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Terrifying.
He had to feed her. And that was the endless supply of money so he could keep feeding her and keeping her alive. Give her some vitamin D.
Bro, see, that's if I saw him coming back, I would have just said, "Kill me." That's I'm.
I can't wait till you watch the second one because you're gonna have so many more nitpicks.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I'm excited to see it because I know. Yeah, I'm like, why did they make a sequel to this movie? But I heard it's the story after, so I'm like still interested to see it. But
Is it? I don't even know what story it is.
if it's before or after, yeah, I think I remember somebody saying it was the prequel, or did someone say it
No,
was this?
it's after. It's supposed to be like years later.
So you saw it, Grant?
No, I have
Did
not
you like
seen
it?
it, but I
Oh.
I looked at like the
Grand
rating.
Theft
I looked at the
Story.
ratings for it because I was like, oh, because this one got like 89%. Yeah, the first one got like 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, and then the second one got like 33. Because like I looked at some of the reviews, they're like, yeah, they're like great visuals, but the plot kind of just sucks. So
Oh, the sequel does, yeah.
yeah, they said that this plot doesn't make sense.
Well, see, okay, speaking of plot, like this story, again, for anyone that hasn't seen the movie, it's just hoping to walk away with a massive fortune, a trio of thieves break into a house of a blind man who isn't as helpless as he seems. Like Cameron said, hey, just because he's blind, it doesn't mean he's a saint.
Amen. Holy shit.
No truer words have been spoken, dude, because this guy is a pretty despicable
Was money
human
the
being.
only redeemable character?
Money.
That's my beef.
Jordan, I got super Panic Room vibes from this movie as well. I just thought of Jared Leto with the money. I don't know, like the money's character reminds me of Jared Leto's character with the cornrows and everything. It's great.
Such a fun thriller.
Yeah. Money, man. R.I.P. He went out too soon. I wanted to see more of Money.
I know. I thought so too. I was like, oh dang. He was horrible, deplorable character, but he was funny at least. Like he's just everyone else was just like
He's just like that.
despicable. And-
He's just like the guy in Circle. There's so many people in Circle. I wish would have lasted longer. That bee had it coming. I wish he would have lasted.
Coming.
And same with the kid where he's like, we're about to
No self-preservation whatsoever.
The business guy who just like everybody else.
So funny.
So funny.
So funny.
Or the dad who was like, you really want a kid seeing other two
Yeah, to
and having
clearly he wants the to die.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, we end every movie podcast by sharing movies that we've seen lately and movies that you're looking forward to seeing. Grant, start us off.
I've been watching Squid Games. It is freaking amazing. Is it games or games?
How far are you, Grant? What was the last game?
The last one I saw. What was the last one I saw?
Red light, green light.
No.
Don't start mentioning them. You're gonna spoil it.
I know. I'm gonna start going down, and then he'll be like, "That's the last one I saw."
So I
Is it the needle with the cookie?
The biscuits.
Oh, I think it was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did see that one. That was insane. And then he started licking it.
Biscuits. Lick that biscuit.
And then it was Tug of War. Was the last one I saw.
Oh,
Tug of war.
yes.
And then
that's right.
the smart dude's brother, freaking. I won't spoil it for our listeners, but like
we already
Grant,
did
we already did on the pod.
podcast, you monkey.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Did you know everyone else in the world has seen it except you?
Well, apparently.
But I don't want to spoil it for
But anyways,
9 million.
spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it. But the brother who finds out that the smart guy has done it like one of the years before. That was freaking insane.
Oh yeah.
And so that means that he survived and he won and he had money. And so he lost all of it and he's going back into the games to get it again. You're just like, this dude's messed up.
It's great. I'm excited for you to finish it because I want to hear your thoughts once you watch the whole
Grant,
thing.
did you recognize the character from Train to Busan
The dad.
as the character that's slapping people?
The guy that
Oh,
throws
no
the
way.
blue card and red card? Yeah, dude. He's the father in
He
Train
did
to
look
Busan.
kind of familiar.
great.
He has like that perfect like shaped face.
Grant's like, he's
Yeah,
very
Grant, tell us how you
handsome.
really feel.
Objectively,
Very
of course.
handsome man. I happily married, but wow, what a handsome Korean. Any other movies that you've been watching lately?
I don't know. I think those.
Great idea. Just put it away right
That's fine. No, you don't need to pull out the list. Yeah,
Oh yeah, we watched Bewitched with everyone. That was really good.
I love Bewitched.
Yeah, Will
Am I
Ferrell
gonna
did
get
a really,
pregnant?
really good.
It's the only line that made me laugh for some reason. I could really not get pregnant right now. Shoo, shoo. And then my favorite scene is when all the little witches come over for trick or treating. He's like, "You guys look great." I'm sorry, I don't have any candy. It's the funniest scene. I don't know why it makes me laugh
I
every
love
time.
that scene.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Will Ferrell's great. All right, were you looking forward to seeing anything?
More Squid Game.
More Squid Game. More Squid Game.
Squid Game.
When I say Squid Game quickly, it makes me think of the scene where Patrick and SpongeBob are trying to befriend Squidward and be a better friend to Squidward. And he's like, "Hey, Squidward!" And they're like drinking that carbonated soda. "Hey, Squidward! Hey, Squidward! Hey, Squid Game!" That's what I think of.
Cameron, do you want to share yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cameron, you go ahead.
I watched Step Brothers again because I hated it when I watched it too soon back from my mission because I was like, it's so much inappropriate. So fetching funny. That movie's hilarious. You sound you need to be medicated.
I still think the best quote is man, and then
Dude,
the mom
I
joins in and
love-
starts saying it.
I love Ben's character as a douchebag. Dude, he needs to be cast more as a douchebag. He's so funny. I bet you like that.
Are you talking
Sorry.
about Adam Scott? Yeah.
Sorry,
Step Brothers is
instinct.
probably the funniest. When I saw it the first time, I thought it was the funniest movie I'd seen to date. But it's right there with Anchorman, Tommy Boy, and Dumb and Dumber. Those are by far the 3 funniest movies of all time. And it's right up there in like a close 4th place, I think. Like when I saw it the first time, I was dying. Dying laughing.
And then I also rewatched Mrs. Doubtfire. Rewatched what's it called? Good Will Hunting, which Ty still needs to watch. I'm young.
I'm sure you'll make me watch it on the pod.
And then I also watched Minari. I don't know how to fetch and say it.
Minari?
It's a A24 film. It's got Glenn from The Walking Dead. It was really visually beautiful, but like slow as shiz, but good. Then watched Bewitched. Rewatched Ready Player
Grant,
One.
I'm surprised Glenn didn't make it to your top 10 favorite actors of all time.
But,
All the cast of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, he said Rick. That's right. Like any other roles that he's been in, Grant? He's like, no.
It was a joke
Just
because
that
you
one.
guys trash
Season
on
1,
Walking
2,
Dead
and
all the
3.
time.
it wasn't a joke. And then I also watched Open Range with Mom and Dad, which was pretty good. I didn't get to watch all of it though. And then I watched.
You didn't finish it. The ending's the best part. That's
no,
where
the
all
ending
action
the ending is the best part. I missed all the
Okay.
middle.
That's okay. The middle's boring.
Yeah, Dad's like, you gotta watch all of it, Cam, because I did my
It's
mission
just senseless
podcast
violence
in the
at
middle.
that point. Cameron's like, yes.
And then I watched
yes.
I watched The Sixth Sense finally because it's been on my bucket list. And holy shiz, Bruce Willis is dead. What a fudge!
Cameron, best quote in the movie: "Keep walking, cheese."
Keep fucking cheese.
I liked when he said, "Hey, baby girl."
And then I also watched American Psycho and mixed emotions.
Dude,
I mean,
holy cow!
probably one of the best.
I killed a lot of people.
Probably one of
Cameron,
the-
how about that twist at the end when he realizes, wait a minute, I didn't kill him?
Yeah, wait. So
Dude, that
so
that phone call, dude.
so that's what
By
I'm
far the
confused with.
best-
So it's just his
Best acting
his
compilation of all time.
so it's his lawyers just covering up for him, or he actually didn't kill.
It's ambiguous.
It's
Cameron.
ambiguous. You don't know, but it looks like he didn't actually kill anybody. I mean, based on
It's like Wall Street meets The Shining. That's what the movie is. It's
Yeah,
like
it was hurting
a
my brain.
commentary on crony capitalism and class.
That makes me like it a
It's
little
like
bit more.
Thoroughbreds, in a way.
Yeah, I definitely deducted some points because of some jarring scenes that I had to skip.
some. I'm running around with the chainsaw.
Yeah, so that was for me. The overall rating I gave it was a 6, but I mean, probably one of the best performances I've ever seen from an actor. And I wish they would have had more William Dafoe because him and because I wish it
Wasn't
would have
he
just been
so
more
good?
of like them together is just so creepy because like he's like sweating and just like and, like trying to be natural, and I'm just like I'm so uncomfortable by both of you.
Just go back and watch. I just challenge you to go back and watch that phone interview where he takes the phone call and he is all over the place. It's by far the
Or when
most
his
impressive
secretary
thing.
looks through his notebook with all those pictures, dude. Oh,
It reminded
such chills.
it reminded me of your drawings, not the but like of just like the excessive like murder, and blood and gore.
I know, Cameron. I used to have a bully in one of my classes, and then I drew a picture of him and Jason Voorhees holding his decapitated head, and he stopped talking to me after that. He stopped making fun of me. It was great.
One thing that
You should have just said you
interesting
made
is
the
that
list.
Jared Leto was a more grounded performance, which I thought was interesting. But Christian Bale does really go for
Dude,
it.
when he took a fetch and axe to him, I was like, "Oh, goodbye, Jared."
It's crazy.
Just looking forward to. I really want to watch The Godfather. That I've been meaning to watch for like ages.
Oh, I will say the first one's really good, and I know everyone praises the second. I actually like the first one.
And then
I think the first one's my favorite.
I also want to watch Loose because it's now available on Hulu. So probably gonna watch that maybe tonight.
Tim Roth.
And Jordan, it's got Al Pacino, dude, and he does a really great performance, so you should watch it.
I know. I need to watch it.
And there's
again.
no garbage bags, but it's good.
When we reviewed on the pod, I'll watch it.
Hey, everybody, leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Check us out on Patreon, Spotify, like us on all the things, follow us. And this has been Future Hit Movie Jump signing out.
Bye.
Peace.
Yes, there is no God.